Hi, my name is Katie Brown and I am a team leader with Usborne Books & More. And for the last decade, I have spent my career as an elementary music teacher, teaching general music to kindergartners through 5th graders. Today I wanted to talk to you about some of the musical books that Usborne Books & More has to offer. Starting with our baby books, we have musical nursery rhymes. This is a perfect book for baby's first library. It plays beautiful music that goes along with classic nursery rhymes that we all know and love. This is as loud as it gets, and they are really pleasant to listen to. For being a music teacher, I am very strict in my house about noisy toys and noisy books, but I love these because the music is beautiful. They're really pleasant to listen to, and again, it's working on these beautiful literacy skills with our nursery rhymes. Up next is the first book about the orchestra. I love this book because it talks about all the different instrument families that you would find in the orchestra, facts about each one, what the instruments look like, what they sound like even when they're tuning, different facts about each one, including the instrument names, and then at the end, you actually get a chance to hear the entire orchestra play together. This is just a snippet of Brahms's Hungarian Dance No. 5, and if you're interested in hearing the whole piece, there's a QR code that you can scan to find the rest. Baby's very first musical playbook is a new favorite in our house. This one is very fun because it mixes environmental sounds with actual music that you might hear. So on the sailing page, you can hear the song that's happening there, but you can also hear some of the different animal sounds, and there's music that goes along. There are touchy-feely textures on each page. There are finger trails. There are flaps to lift. This book is hours and hours and hours of fun and really good for your hands-on learner. What child would not be interested in learning a new instrument? The first instrument book I have to share with you is the My First Xylophone book. It comes with an actual xylophone that you can play here and a mallet to play along with. This book includes 9 different songs that you can learn how to play by matching the colors of the dots as they're written on the page to the colors of the bars on the instruments. These include classic songs like Row, Row, Row Your Boat, Mary Had a Little Lamb, London Bridge, and songs like that. Up next is My First Drumming book. This book is really fun because you turn on different songs. There are 6 different ones to choose from here, and then 5 different percussion instruments that you can play along with these. And for each one, it tells you which song to start, and then it teaches you the pattern that you play along with it. So you can match the beat and play the different percussion instruments along with the music as the song is playing. Up next is the Famous Classical Tunes keyboard book. I love this one because it's a little bit more of a challenge. This is a step up from some of the other ones that I've shown so far because it has a mixture of different colors and shapes, and you can see that there are different colors and shapes on every key of the keyboard. And you actually start to learn about harmonizing because on some of these you have 2 different notes that you're supposed to play at the same time, while on other notes you just play one at a time. These are really classic piano pieces that you actually may even recognize just having heard before, and it's really fun for kids to kind of learn to play them in a really simple, easy way. We also have a couple of nonfiction options for your musical learners. First is our See Inside How Things Work. This book has a lot of different facts about a lot of different things, but my particular favorite page as a music teacher is the music page. This one discusses how different instruments work, how they are made, and different facts about each instrument and different instrument families so that your young reader can figure out not only why an instrument sounds a certain way, but kind of the science behind it. Up next is the Usborne Classical Music Reference Book. I love this one for my classroom because it is internet linked, which means that there are QR codes throughout the book where you can scan with a smartphone or a tablet and find more information on the internet, but you can see the different topics that are included in this book. I particularly love this one because the historical context of the instruments and different styles of music and composers is all included in this story, which just paints a broader picture of our musical history and is really, really interesting for kids to learn as well. And finally, I have 3 picture books to share with you today. One is Billy the Goat's Big Breakfast. This is a really silly story about an impatient goat who goes to his friend's house for breakfast and ends up eating a lot of the breakfast before the breakfast has been served. And he learns his lesson because he gets a big tummy ache. But what I love about this musically is that there's actually a little song in the back that you can sing sort of as a chorus throughout the story, or you can save it to the end and sing with your reader as you're reading them their bedtime story. The next one I have for you is Dan the Taxi Man. I love this story because it is a rhythmic rhyming story about Dan the Taxi Man who goes all over town picking up musicians on their way to the big show. There are sounds that happen throughout, imitating instruments and imitating the sound of Dan's taxi, and I love the diversity that's represented in this story as well. But it's a really, really fun story about picking up your friends, taking them to the big show, and then Dan himself gets a little solo at the end as well. The last book I have to share with you today is one of my favorites. I feel like my charge as a music teacher is to create lifelong musicians, and that means giving kids the skills and confidence needed to participate in music throughout their entire life. If my kids grow up singing to their kids and dancing at weddings and participating in culture and in the arts, they will grow up better human beings, and so that is my goal with them in my classroom. This next book, Play Me Some Music, is a celebration of all of those things. This book shares all the different ways in which we can engage with music, whether it's on the street, in a parade, on stage, or in the audience. There are so many ways that we connect with other humans through music and through the arts. And this book is an absolutely beautiful picture celebration of that. I hope you've enjoyed this glimpse into some of the Usborne and Cade Miller book titles for your little musicians. Thanks for watching.